Hey, how are we? Oh my goodness, we're back. She's back in action. No one's stopping me now. Okay. Is that a song? I don't know. If it is, please let me know. If not, then she talented. It looks so gross. It's not great, but we're okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go with my friend to go see Us tonight later on. We're hella late on the bandwagon with that, but I figured while I do my makeup, why not talk about something that I can really connect with. So something that's been weighing on my mind heavily lately has been, just taking a leap and doing something that's completely out of your comfort zone, completely changing your lifestyle and doing something that you wouldn't necessarily do on a normal basis, but understanding that sometimes it's better to take that risk and it may be for the best ultimately. Yeah, and in particular, for this video, for me, I'm gonna relate more towards changing up my lifestyle as far as my eating is concerned and my exercise routine, how I do things in that sort of realm, how I prioritize it, because it was so difficult for me to prioritize it for the longest time, and basically also having some sort of method or way to really understand that it's all about taking things in, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yes, when you consume things and you do things in moderation, that completely changes everything as well. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna do my face. So today I am going to use I'm like fiddling around my drawers. Today I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Finish primer. Love her. Riri is everything to me, honestly. If I would ever meet her, I'd probably pass out, because if anyone has ever told me that I look like anyone celebrity wise, it's 9 times out of 10 it's either Rihanna, and after Rihanna it is Lisa Bonet. I don't really see that, but okay. And Tessa Thompson. It really depends, but it's usually Rihanna. It's almost like number one is Rihanna. She is number one. I love her so much. Anyway, so yeah, let's get this started. Pro Filter Soft Matte Liquid Foundation. I am in 310. Do I want to start with this? No, I don't want to start with this. I'm actually going to start with I have so many Fenty Beauty things, and I'm just obviously queen. So we're gonna go for the Fenty Beauty Match Stick and Caramel, and then also rum. And I learned this trick from somebody. I don't remember which YouTube it was, but it worked. You just go ahead and do this. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about this and you can follow along. You'll get what I'm doing. About, I want to say 3 years ago, I realized that I had an issue with eating. I had an issue with actually consuming food and digesting things properly. Basically, my body just didn't react positively to anything that I'd been eating or that was in my diet regularly. And so when that had happened, I didn't know what it was. I thought I had something that was essentially a disease, a disorder or something going on. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. But I just thought there's something wrong with my stomach, with the way that my stomach was working. So I went to the doctor, they did a bunch of tests, and basically, Pro Filter, what happened was they made me fill out this piece of paper that was basically just this test. And this test essentially just asked you questions that you had to rate from 1 to 10, like how you're feeling about things or your confidence and all of these other situations. And which, okay, in my mind I'm thinking it said it was a depression test. It was just to see if basically if you're depressed. I don't remember if it was just clinical depression or any types of depression, or if it was a specific type, or if it was just generally if you have depression. So anyway, after they did all these blood tests and then they had me fill out this depression questionnaire, I passed. And by passing me, I had depression. I was like, oh goody, that's just what it is. Okay, cool. So the doctor said you're undergoing a lot of stress right now. Try to exercise, try to take it, like try to, you know, get out more, get some sun. That's really important. You have to do things. It seems like you're in a very big transitional phase in your life, so that could have a lot to do with how your body's reacting to food. It just might be whatever anxiety that you're feeling. So I was like, okay. No one prescribed me anything. I didn't want to take anything. That wasn't the way I was going to do things. After that had happened, I didn't take much initiative. I tried, I started going to the gym more with my boyfriend. I wasn't heavily committed. I wasn't, like, we were in it for a bit and I was eating healthily, but I still was really anxious and we were going through a really difficult time. He was moving back home. We didn't know what was going to happen. We assumed we were going to break up. It was a really, you know, tumultuous time in both of our lives. And there was all these extra stresses that I had to remember, like, think about and really put into perspective. So once, I'm bringing this down my neck because I feel like my body isn't tan enough anymore. And this is my lightest shade. Guys, this is a problem. Like, England really fucks with skin tones. This is just a shadow. I'm going insane. We would go to the gym. But yeah, never heavily committed, never really about it. And then since there was all these outside factors that had to be involved, like I had to move soon, I had to possibly find another job, and it was just a really difficult transitional phase. Eventually, all of these things happen. I do end up moving. It is a whole thing. I didn't have any real form of exercise at the time. I think that's when my stomach started to get better. I wasn't reacting so negatively towards food anymore, but it wasn't like I was eating like amazingly well either. I was still eating some shit food, but it was just a lot easier for me to, I don't know, cope with things because I was in a rhythm and I was distracted. So I was still hella fucking depressed though. Anyway, it just didn't translate in the same way that it had, like, physically before. So fast forward to basically two years ago now, I want to say, I moved to London, and while I'm there, I basically get extremely homesick, and I didn't necessarily notice that it was homesickness, and I didn't realize that it was depression coming back again. I just felt really worthless, and frankly, I felt like I was completely incapable of pursuing anything that I really wanted to because I just wasn't good enough. I didn't seem like I was good enough. Goodness, it was just a lot. So, and I wasn't near my family. I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends. I was starting over essentially, and I was basically starting over in a career that I had made some headway in back home. So, and I'm also sacrificing all the opportunities that I would have had back home whilst I'm here. So, and I don't know where I could be, you know, all the things. So all of that is happening, and then it starts all over again, except it's not every morning like it was before, because that's what happened. That did happen occasionally after a while. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the 310 concealer, but this is low-key too light for me, so we're just gonna do just a little bit, just a little bit. So, matchstick, truffle. So I'm living in London, stressed, and all these obstacles come in my way, and I don't know how to take it. I'm just very overwhelmed. And basically what happens is after I go out to eat, I can't go out to eat, frankly, because it stresses me out too much. I'm too worried about actually eating everything, having to finish the whole meal, having to, you know, I don't know, just feeling like I have to eat everything, and I felt bad having to waste anything, but I couldn't eat everything, so I would instead stress myself out about not being able to finish it, barely eat any of it, because I was so anxious about having to finish all of it before the food even got to my freaking seat. And then now I'm picking over everything, and or even if I'm not, and then I'm forcing myself to eat all of this, I get home, or I don't even make it out of the restaurant, and then I'm feeling sick and I run to the bathroom and I literally vomit everything out. It was bad. I didn't know if it was, well, I assumed it was depression again, and I had to find certain ways to, like, kind of get myself out of that, and it came and it went occasionally, but over the time that I was there, but it was still a lot. when I came back home, I decided, because I was still going to the gym, I was going to the gym more at this point. My boyfriend's place had a gym, or has a gym, whatever. And so it was easy for me to be more committed towards it because it was right there. I could just wake up, go, you know, stay in there for about an hour or so, feel like I've done my due diligence for the day, and then go home and finish and go about my day. Once I came home, I had that in me, and then I got really depressed again. And this time I decided I was gonna try dancing. So I have I have a video of dancing my way through depression, whatever the fuck dramatic title that I put. But anyway, that's up, and basically what happened is I decided instead of getting a gym membership, I wanted to just do dance classes. So I took a heels class, felt really inspired to do more and stay committed to that, but then I just couldn't for some reason. It was partially financial, you know, difficulty doing that, and then like a distance thing. It was just, there was a lot going on, and I was traveling, so I couldn't. I felt like I was backpedaling every time I came in, and it was like I gained something, but then I didn't. Something came up, and I couldn't. Whatever. So a little bit of time passed. Like I want to say about 3 months. When I wasn't really doing anything as far as working out and stuff was concerned. My boyfriend was really inspiring in that whole aspect. So eventually I did end up getting a gym membership, and yeah, it was a really good thing for me to do. At first it wasn't that I was ever against it. I was just really anxious about it, and I knew what a gym atmosphere is like, but I knew what it was like when it was in an apartment complex, and I was really nervous about what it would be like in a more public setting. Especially because when you go to the gym, you don't want to look like an idiot. You don't want to look like one of those people who just doesn't know what they're doing. So, sorry, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty setting powder and honey. Yeah, you don't want to look like an idiot or feel like an idiot, and you don't want to feel like, oh, all these people are looking at me because I don't know what I'm doing and I look dumb doing this and I'm doing this the wrong way or whatever. I get it. It's difficult. It's something that, you know, a lot you have to get over, and I feel like every person has to get over in order to really better themselves in that way if they choose to better themselves in that way. But it also means you have to really be committed to changing just your lifestyle for the better, and knowing that you are the only person who can do that. Nobody else can do it for you. So that's something that really has to be acknowledged and acted upon just on a daily basis, and knowing that it's for a bigger purpose than just whatever vain, there's a hair, whatever vain sort of reasoning that could be behind it, or superficial qualities that come along with it. It's just my point of view when I started going to the gym was, I want to feel better for myself. I don't care about my looks. I don't want to have an expectation, a goal in that way. I don't want to have any, like, I need a six-pack by this date, or I need my butt to be bigger, or my waist to be smaller in this certain amount of months. Like, that is not the way to go about it, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You're having all of these expectations, and everybody is different. Every single body literally is different. You could spend a whole hour and a half in the gym, but it could have completely different results on somebody who spends 45 minutes in the gym because their body's set up differently. You just have to have the mindset it's all a mind game. That's frankly what it is. And it's like fear factor. Okay, you have to treat it like fear factor. Like, walking into the gym is the cockroaches, just being drowned at the cockroaches, and then having to find a key and unlock the lock so you can get out the box and then move on. You have to have the mentality of, oh, if I don't do this, I ain't getting the 10 grand, or I ain't getting whatever the hell I need, like some. So anyway, that's how it was for me. I was so sick and tired of my body reacting so negatively to the things that I was consuming, and I'm like, I don't want to give my body a choice. Okay, I want to do the absolute most that I can to treat it in the best way possible. So then that way, if there is something really wrong with me, then it was genetics. Like, there was no stopping it. Or it was just some horrible bad habit that I have, that didn't, I don't know, that clearly did not aid me in any way. So I'd rather blame it on that. She says as she sips this disgusting smoothie I just made. Trust me, there are ways that you can make things taste delicious, but this recipe of mine was not the best one. Anyway, I'm gonna drink it because it's made and I'm not wasting it. I've been at the gym for, I want to say, about like 2 months or so, and then my friend Maya approaches me with basically this proposal because she was partnered up with a brand called, or she is partnered up with a brand called Pure. Oh, by the way, I'm using Black Radiance. This is a bronzer, and it's in golden cashews. See, it's already been panned. Ow, I've been using the hell out of this. But my Fenty bronzer comes tomorrow. Hey. Anyway, the attention span of mine is so limited. Thankfully, I can just cut this thing down so you wouldn't even know. She was partnering up with this brand called, or have been partnering up with this brand, or partnered up with this brand called Purium. I'd heard about it, she'd spoken about it many times, I knew she used it regularly. Yeah, I was like, I guess it sounds cool. It is all organic, everything, every single ingredient in this product is organic as fuck. And super green, there's even like hella non-GMOs, like we are not about those, sorry. There's a lot of benefits to these products. Their biggest product is called Biomedic. Basically, it gets rid of all of the glyphosate that is in your body. And glyphosate is a harmful chemical that is found in like pesticides and weed killers and these things that are sprayed on the produce that we consume. So not only is it really important that you obviously wash the produce that you do have, which is something that you can regularly do and that should be implemented on a daily basis. I know not everybody does, but even if it's like a quick rinse, I know Trader Joe's sells a really good vegetable, veggie, fruits and veg wash, whatever, and it's safe for your food and it's safe for you to consume afterwards. Not the soap, but the fruit and the veg that you're gonna wash. I feel like that goes without saying, but who knows. So anyway, glyphosate is this harmful chemical found in weed killers and all these things that are sprayed onto and around the food that we consume. There was this very big case that recently happened. It's found in a weed killer called Roundup. This man, who's 70, he said he used Roundup to treat poison oak. Apparently, the jury found that his use of that is a substantial factor in why he has cancer. Apparently, said glyphosate weed killers increase cancer risk by 41%. Okay, so basically, what this product does, it breaks down the glyphosate that is in your stomach, and your Biomedic is like the heart, the brain of your stomach, and it actually is what helps you get the nutrients to your body and produce all of the things that you need to function, like, and actually be able to digest and live and feel healthy and not feel sluggish and not feel like depressed. And what you eat really has an impact on your body as a whole and your mentality and the way you do things. So, and I'm not saying that because I know this is not easily accessible for everybody, but I mean, you gotta do what you can, frankly, if you can't afford products like this, but you can just something small, like transitioning out of processed foods into something more just healthy in general, and I'm not saying it has to be this huge leap that you have to take. You don't have to do a cleanse right away. You don't have to just slowly introducing these things into your life, into your habits on a daily basis is great. Introducing a healthy snack and then trying to introduce yourself to healthier meal options, and then eventually having any sort of processed foods or any sort of things that would negatively affect your body as a treat for yourself. Because I'm not gonna lie, a bitch still loves a snack. Like, I still love to eat. You can't tell me nothing. Oh my god, I really like mac and cheese. But you have to do all these things in moderation. So I started working with Purium as well. And I have my own superfood store, so I can link, or I'll give you guys a code. You get $50 off a purchase of $75 or more, or 25% off your total cart purchase, whatever. It depends on what you order. It depends on what's cheaper or what's cheaper for you. I mean, so if it makes more sense for them to give you 25% off the whole thing rather than giving you just a $50 gift card, then so be it. But I'll link my code. It's just Ariel. Use it. Get yourself a discount. Try some Biomedic. Really, it'll change everything for you, because it really did for me. So I took a leap, spent a lot of money, frankly, because that's just the way it is. And I bought some products. I did a cleanse. Now that I talked about that for a whole 4 minutes without even touching my face, we're gonna get into the Flamingo eyeshadow palette. I got this from BeautyCon last year. It's of the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. And I'm gonna go in with, what color do I want to do? Should I do purple? Should we do a pink and purple? Oh, because I don't do that. I start using their products. I do a 10-day transformation cleanse. I did that at the end of last year, towards the end of last year, in like September time, I want to say. And when I did that, one, I've never experienced having to pee so much in my entire life. But I couldn't work out for those 10 days because I did a nutritional cleanse. And since that was the case, I just didn't, and I was working a lot, and it was closer to holiday season, and I was traveling at the time, so it just took a toll on my body. And then my period happened, which was like, fuck off, body, can you not? It was good, it was really good, don't get me wrong, I really needed it, and I'm most likely gonna do it again. My body afterwards was like, listen sis, you can't be fucking around with the same shit that you were trying to get into last time as far as food is concerned. Okay, we need to think about what we're consuming this time around. You've come this far. So when that happened, I took the initiative and stopped going for what I normally go for. And now, don't get me wrong, it was really tempting because it was all around me. That's all I wanted. But the thing was, my body wasn't reacting well to any of the things that I thought I wanted. And I wanted them for taste more than anything else. And then even then, it just didn't taste the same. It didn't taste nearly as good as I once thought it did. So that's the reality situation, really. Once you start caring enough, your body's like, oh, this is what it's like when you're listening to me. Okay. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're fine now. So I started integrating more healthier options into my life. I started caring more about what I was eating. I did have my moments of fucking everything up. One thing that really helped me though was, so I've been doing this for like the last couple years now, but I've been using HelloFresh. And if y'all want a discount code, I'll link that also. Get a free box. So essentially, oh sorry, I'm gonna go in with watermelon now. My regime as far as, well, I have been, and I've been pretty good at it, but I've been using HelloFresh for a lot of my like substantial meals, my dinners and stuff like that. And I've also been using it as meal prep because you choose what you get during the week, as long as you're on it as far as like making sure that you do it either in advance or you do it right before they charge you, and you don't really have a choice but to get what they choose for you. So at least you have a say in what you get as long as you're proactive. So with that being said, it's like a really good option for me, and the price point's pretty good. So I'll do that, and then I'll also get some little things here and there for smoothies and things. And there's protein shakes that come with the, I'm going with Bikini now. I don't think I've ever used this one. It's really pretty. So HelloFresh is really good for meal preps because the portions are really good. Also, there's just a lot of good things about it. I mean, and none of this is sponsored. This is all just what money is being spent on. And yeah, I mean, and as far as actually being able to go into the gym and feel confident in that, you have to basically hype yourself up. You really have to be your own hype man in that regard in order for you to walk in there, especially alone, without needing like a buddy and an emotional support system, which I know is very difficult, especially because most people start out going to the gym with somebody else. It is very rarely ever a situation where you're going by yourself for the first time. And if you do go by yourself for the first time, like, kudos to you, because it's not easy. And once you do get into the habit of going, give yourself the credit that you deserve for getting over that fear and for taking that leap and doing something out of your comfort zone. Understand that the people who do go to the gym may have easily and probably were in that same position as you currently are at one point. Wow, this is really difficult to do like this. Why do I feel like these are two drastically different eyeballs? I mean, they basically are two different eyeballs, but we're fine. We'll be fine. Anyways, so I think anyone is capable of doing something that seems extremely terrifying and out of question. It's just a matter of whether or not you act on it and really commit. I think that's a huge thing. Also, you have to commit. You have to know that it's a commitment and understand that it's a commitment. Understand that this is something that you're not gonna like at first, and it's difficult too because, like I said earlier, you're so terrified of being judged, but you can't allow your fear of judgment or your fear of I don't know your insecurities that you do have or may have get in the way of all of this success that is allotted to you. You deserve this. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel comfortable and give yourself the opportunity to do so. Just kind of try to get out of your head and understand that people are way more focused and narcissistic at the gym than anywhere else. Like, they're so focused on themselves and getting their gains than they are worrying about whether you would look ridiculous. And trust me, if you feel like you look ridiculous, there's somebody else about a couple machines away who looks just as crazy, if not crazier. So you have to figure it out at some point. You have to start somewhere, and I think you're capable, and I think it's possible for you. So, and we're gonna go in with flamingo. Anyway, yeah, gym anxiety is an absolute nightmare, and it isn't an easy thing to conquer, but it is conquerable, okay? Don't give up on yourself. And we're gonna go in with donut. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do Idle Wave, which is a blue, which is kind of gonna be different, but we'll see where it goes. Ooh. Let's blend it up. Ooh, now pineapple. We're just gonna play in all the colors. Honestly, I think once you, okay, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind when you do go to the gym that I think are really important. One of those things being that you find ways to enjoy it. Okay, so I know it can be really difficult as far as like motivation and actually making yourself go, because you are the person who's making yourself go. No one is making you go anywhere but yourself. So since that's the case, how do you motivate? How do you motivate yourself? My way of motivating myself, one is I basically just force myself to get the fuck up and go, because I know that I'm gonna feel guilty if I say that I've been slacking on going. I'm gonna use my Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and it is in the color 4. It's my favorite. One of my favorites. If you're going, or if you're trying to get yourself to go, I try to go in the morning, because I'd rather go first thing when I wake up. It's very difficult for me to go after work, even though I do force myself to go after work. I just try to make sure that I give myself absolutely no excuse or reason to like sit down, because I know once I sit down, it's a wrap. I'm just not gonna want to go anywhere, especially if I come home after work before I go to the gym. She fell. She broke. And this is all like, all of me loves all of you, and all of you is gone. I'm gonna rectify it. No. This is the most depressing day of my life. It was silly. It was a sign from the universe. It says, bitch, you're putting too much pressure on this pencil. You have to just find a time that works for you, that you can basically just not give yourself any reason. And this is specifically for people who go to the gym. I mean, if you're someone who prefers running or doing, I guess it still essentially applies for. Wow. Okay, she's gonna RIP relatively soon. I'm about to go to Sephora tonight. I can't live like this. I honestly don't even want to touch this. I'm so scared. We're gonna go with the brow gel, and I don't think this is actually for this one. This one is not 4. This one's in 3.5. They were out of 4 at the time, so here we are. If you run, if you do any other forms of exercise, if you bike, things of that nature, then this still applies. Because even then, like, I rode a bike. At least I tried to get into the whole the bicycle scene, a couple years ago, and I just couldn't. I picked the absolutely wrong bike. I picked mine based on aesthetics, not function. So it was a very heavy beach cruiser, and you can't really ride heavy beach cruisers everywhere, especially when there's hills everywhere and your cardio is just not on point. And if you have to be somewhere at a certain time, it's just a lot of stress. And if you're someone like me who doesn't like mapping out 2 hours of their lives just in support of transportation unless they absolutely have to, so that's where I'm at. So that's where my dilemma was. So yeah, but that still applies. You still have to motivate yourself to actually get the fuck up and go and do that. For me, obviously biking wasn't the one for me, but I still had to have that mentality, so I didn't call an Uber. I actually took my bike. Now, another way that you can stay motivated at the gym is essentially by doing very little things. Like, for example, if you're someone who enjoys looking good, if having an outfit together, if you're just that type of person where if your outfit is together, then your confidence is just through the roof, I suggest investing in really cute workout wear. Because if you're at the gym and you see that you look cute or you feel cute in what you're wearing at the gym, then you're gonna feel a lot better about working out in general because you feel cute in your outfit. So why not? Or if there's certain like type of merch or a certain type of like a brand that you really enjoy, and if they have like a water bottle or a hoodie or something that you think you could wear to the gym or to go exercise in, highly recommend that. I also recommend, if something that you're nervous about is the fact that you don't have exercises to do or you don't know what to do in the gym, then Instagram is a great thing for that. The internet is a great place for that. There's definitely times when I'm at the gym and I'm on Instagram looking up, okay, what can I do on this machine? Like, for example, today I'm like cable abs. Like, it's just cable ab that I just looked up the hashtag, and there's tons of videos, and I'm like, okay, these are exercises that I can do. One thing, especially for the females, I'm gonna give you a little pointer, a little tip, is I know that it can be really intimidating, especially when you're going into weighted areas and areas where there's mainly men working out. And personally, this may seem like a narcissistic, very vain thing to say, but one, I'm not worried about people staring, because I'm like, if you're staring, that means I'm doing something well, frankly. And I'm like, and I can't stop anybody from staring because they're gonna look whether they want to or not, or whether I want them to or not. So that's something that I find myself that I just have to get over, and people have stared at me for a very long time, and from reasons I do not really know, and have known in some cases, but it's just one of those things that I have to anticipate. Also, one thing that helps if you're someone who is interested in any of the sexes, one motivating factor for me is I'm like, sorry boyfriend, but is like, he's cute, he's cute, he's cute. Okay, I see. She cute too. Why not? She's cute. You know, whatever. You can look, and then frankly, it's motivation. It should be motivation, or use that as motivation. Just find something. You gotta find something to hold on to and to get you through, because frankly, no one really wants to be there. Everyone just wants to have abs instantly. No one wants to really work for them. Trust. So, now I'm going my wonderfully real Rimmel London mascara. So don't be worried in that realm of things. I mean, yeah, I just try to find ways. Wow, wig. What was the point? What's the point if you're not gonna stay down? What is the point? I just try to find little things to keep me motivated. So yeah, exercises. What the fuck is going on today? Wow. Oh my goodness. Anyways, if you're having trouble with finding exercises, Google them while you're there. If you're a woman and you're intimidated by going into an area with all men, just think about the fact that, one, you're a woman walking into this quote-unquote man's world in the gym, right? It's a male-dominated area. Own that shit. Be strong in that. Revel in it, okay? It's a very, very powerful feeling when you're the only woman in an entire area of the gym, which, mind you, it's not that you never see women at the gym. I always see women at the gym. Every time I go to the gym, there's always women at the gym, but it is mostly and usually a predominantly male, testosterone driven environment, and you are going to have to kind of navigate around these spaces that can be very intimidating at first. But if you can find a way to just channel like this alter ego, this character that you can be, that's just, I'm the strongest, I'm the baddest, like have a playlist too. Like, for a while I was just strictly on Nicki, like anything Nicki Minaj, that's what the fuck I was listening to at the gym, because I felt like the baddest. I felt like I was so capable. I felt like I could run anything and everything. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. So, little things. Also, when you're, oh, we're going in the kilowatt freestyle highlight, kilowatt. And Moscow Mule and ginger mint. We're just gonna mix them and then put them on. So, if you're in the gym and you know, you have your playlist going, you have your outfit looking right to your standards, to your, like, frankly, I don't have like matching sets and shit. My outfits are usually like homemade crop tops, 5-year-old sports bra, some little softy shorts, whatever, from high school. Like, I'm not trying to never stone anybody like that. But if you're the type of person who's like, listen, I need to feel myself in order to feel this, do what you gotta do, okay? Best believe. So try to find whatever confidence you do have, even if it may not always be present. Reach for it. It's there. Own it. Use it. And okay, how's this coming together? What should I do for my lips? I'm gonna go in with confetti matchstick. It's very galactic. And then sharpened. And then this NYX Club Hopper just to outline. And then bring it all together. Fenty Beauty Diamond Milk. So, oh, also, yes, when you're working out, what I like to do, especially when I'm on a machine, and one thing that I found is difficult for me whenever I was doing a normal exercise outside of the gym, just like running in real life, not on the treadmill, was I found it difficult to see what the progress I was making, like actually seeing how far I ran, seeing how far I have left to go. Once I had an idea of that, which took me a while to actually have an idea of what that was, which means actually staying committed to going regularly and creating a habit for yourself. But because of that, I just stopped going and running and doing all these things. So especially once I stopped, it was more difficult for me to get back into it for that exact reason. So what I like doing when I am at the gym is I like setting little goals for myself. Ooh, sorry, we're using the Maybelline Master Fix setting spray. I found that I had to find little goals for myself. I had to set some sort of achievement. So for example, if I say I'm gonna be on this machine for 15 minutes, then I'm gonna go those 15 minutes, but if I get close to the 15 and I realize, oh, I could just round up my calories, or I could just round up the amount of floors that I've walked up, or round up this, that, and the other, then I'll just kill it for that much longer and then continue on to something else. I also found that creating a little set for yourself of different exercises to do back to back, and then resting, and then continuously doing that really helps the time go by a lot faster, and you can work out multiple groups of like multiple areas of your body at relatively the same time. Yeah, so this side feels dry. I believe in all of you. I think that all of you guys are more than capable of doing this. This is something that anybody can get into. As far as diets and those things are concerned, I highly recommend doing your research and really making sure that whatever sort of diet that you're gonna do is, why am I so close? Whatever diet that you're gonna do is something that is actually going to benefit you in the long run. And just listen to your body and what it has to say, because how you're feeling is essentially your body talking to you and telling you whether what you're doing is actually helping you or not. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I'm gonna change. I'll be right back. Alright, I hope you guys liked this video. Yeah, let me know if you want any other ones like this or similar to this, and we'll make it happen, Captain. And I hope I helped somebody in their gym anxiety and their anything really. If I helped you, let me know. So yeah, stay tuned, subscribe. I'll hit you guys up later. Bye.